Hey, hello and welcome back to another devlog. So I know it's been basically like a month since the last one, but I have been hard at work on the game still. So you probably saw the title, I've actually added in a bunch of new features basically recently. I said in some of the previous devlogs that I was pretty much done with features and I was instead going to focus on a demo, but I lied and I decided that I can do what I want. And I really just wanted to add in the last couple of features to the game that I knew I was going to be including in there anyways. So that's what I've been working on, and yeah, everything is in there, it's done, it's working for the most part. And this devlog's gonna be a little bit different than the other ones. I didn't really take as many in progress clips as I usually do, so instead of just like talking about what I did and showing in progress clips, instead I'm going to just play the game and talk about what I did. So if you are new here, I am a solo dev working on a game where you return to an abandoned game project only to find that the NPCs have continued working on the game while you were gone. It features a bunch of different mechanics like fishing, collecting, crafting, talking to the NPCs, upgrading the town, with the main goal being you helping the NPCs and also just fixing the game. So I did add in a bunch of new last little things that I wanted to include in the gameplay, and then after this I'm going to be focusing on just doing content pretty much. But let's just jump over to the game honestly, and I'll explain there. Okay, so the first thing that I worked on adding, let me turn the logs off really quick. The NPCs are gonna come and steal some of my food, but that's okay. We'll allow it for right now. Just ignore that. This is a work in progress, like I said. So the first thing that I added was farming, and I know that I mentioned in previous devlogs that I wasn't gonna add farming to the game. I didn't think that farming really fit in the game, and I still kind of feel that way. However, I had added tile states in during the last devlog, and that kind of just ended up getting me thinking, okay, tile states, you know, I have that ability now. Farming is basically just having different states of the tiles and then spawning a game object on top, which I also already have, so it should be really easy to add farming to the game. And it was really easy to add farming to the game. It took me like 3 hours and then 2 weeks to fix all of the bugs. Yeah, we gotta fix this little issue over there, but don't worry about that. You'll see that I can, you know, till, I don't know, the soil in the game, and then plant seeds on it, and then over time the crops will grow on the squares. So this is a little bit of a simplified farming mechanic. You know, it's not the crops are going to spawn over days. I wanted them to spawn over time. And you'll also notice that you don't have to water the crops. It's not because it's raining, actually. You actually just don't have to water most of the crops. I might make it so maybe some of you do, but I don't want to like make the main focus of this game on farming. I just kind of actually wanted it as like a supplemental way for the NPCs to get food, because everyone was kind of starving to death over there. But yeah, now we can basically grow some food and also feed the NPCs. More so they kind of just steal the food from you, but that's okay. And then moving over to the next thing that I worked on adding, which was mining in the game. And I wasn't going to initially add mining to the game, but it was something I knew I wanted. I mean, and they've just been closed off because I told myself, okay, well, you're not going to unlock them in the beginning anyways, so it doesn't really matter if I had that mechanic right now. And that is kind of true, but I kind of just wanted to honestly prove to myself that I could add in the mechanic of mining. We can kind of walk on the wall over there. It's a little trippy. So that's what I did. The mines are going to be locked initially at first, but I just wanted to make sure that I could get this mechanic working. So these are the mines. The sprites are still a little bit of a work in progress, but you get the vibe. You kind of get what's going on. So the mines were actually pretty easy also to add, a little more complicated than the farming, because I'm basically reusing the grid system that I'm using on the main map. I'm just instead only spawning rocks on them. But one thing you'll notice is that I have these little like clues that are dropping, and they're showing pictures of these switches that are on the walls over here. So this is a mechanic that I kind of messed around with a couple of years ago when I thought of maybe adding puzzles to the game, this idea of having switches, and I decided I kind of wanted to revisit that and then pull it into the mines, because I was trying to figure out, okay, how are you going to progress through the different levels of the mines? And the way that I decided that I wanted to do it was to have it so that all of the mines are going to have these switches in them, and the deeper you go, the more switches there will be. So there's only 2 right now because it's just the first level of mine, so you could theoretically just kind of guess what state these switches need to be in. So all of them only have 2 states, either on or off, and every time you mine a rock, you have a % chance of dropping a clue as to what state that switch needs to be in. And in order to unlock the next level of the mine, you need to then flick that switch to the right state. So if I switch this one, there we go. Yeah, we unlock the door over there. I'm not gonna go through the door because we don't have the next level yet. But you get the idea, basically. This is how the player is going to progress deeper and deeper into the mines. And theoretically, mining the rock should be using up our stamina, so you'll kind of have to, and also maybe not drop them all right away. Maybe I gotta make that % chance higher. But yeah, you get the idea. Basically, you will have to kind of try to unlock the clues in the mine as to what state these little switches, and it will get progressively harder and harder, and you will maybe need to kind of bump your stamina stats up in order to actually be able to progress fully. All right, let's get out of here. We can go back to the main map and show the last thing, which was combat. Oh, let me turn the... So I did have combat in the game before. You may remember my one enemy over here, if you have been following the game for a while. This guy basically existed within like the first month of the game, and I had combat working, but then I didn't touch it for a really long time, and it still was there. It just needed a little bit of a refactor, so that's what I did. I basically just made it so, oh god, this guy, we can now fight him. It's a little janky, needs a little bit of work still. It's a little harder to do it with keyboard and mouse, I find. This guy will attack me, doing very little damage, and we can kill him now. So combat is back and it's working. The reason I kind of wanted to add combat back in was I wanted to expand on the little like glitch events that'll happen at the end of the day that kind of force the player to respawn. So thinking about maybe adding in something like small little waves of enemies that you and the NPCs need to defend against. But yeah, that's pretty much most of what I have been working on in the past month for the game. The next thing that I have been really focusing on is the AI system in the game, actually. So I'm gonna be kind of building that up and giving the NPCs a lot more stuff to do. They're gonna start feeling a lot more realistic, a lot more alive, I don't know. But that should be a lot of fun because the AI system is always super chaotic. So definitely stick around for the next devlogs. I will see you then. Bye. Oh my god, they're all stealing the crops. I'm kind of like experimenting at the moment with some of the NPCs, so I can fix them if I just delete him from existence. Okay, yeah, now everybody's safe. Don't mind that guy. He's fine.